What does this tell us? What does this tell us, Chris? It tells us the cultural significance of pissing everybody off, and not just our sphere, everybody. And this is why we talk about Snow White, the movie itself.
About ticking boxes than adding value to the original.
Fuck off. She literally says it, whatever. If you don't vote blue, I don't need your business.
May you never know peace. May you never know peace.
Yeah.
That's pretty harsh.
Hi, this is Macy. Today we're exploring a pivotal chapter in Disney's history, as the Snow White remake becomes one of the most scrutinized projects the company has ever undertaken. Rachel Zegler's remarks have sparked widespread reactions, placing Disney CEO Bob Iger in a position unlike any before, as he faces growing public dissent. Disney's ambitious plan to reimagine Snow White has escalated into a cultural flashpoint. With the trailer amassing over 800,000 dislikes and only 27,000 likes, the numbers speak volumes about the public's reception. Yet these figures are merely the tip of the iceberg in a much larger debate that's reshaping conversations around Disney's remake strategy. The intense backlash is surprising even to those who've followed the company's past controversies. While previous remakes like Dumbo and The Lion King encountered criticism, none have provoked the level of ire directed at Snow White. This project has become a symbol of broader societal debates about modernizing beloved stories, igniting discussions far beyond typical fan complaints. Why has this particular remake resonated so controversially? To understand, we must first recognize the historical significance of the 1937 original. As the first full-length animated feature, Snow White wasn't just a movie, it was a groundbreaking achievement that defined Disney's legacy. Any attempt to reinterpret such an iconic story carries immense expectations and risks. One of the most polarizing aspects of the remake involves the portrayal of the Seven Dwarfs. Reports suggest that Disney has replaced them with magical beings in response to critiques from actor Peter Dinklage, who voiced concerns about perpetuating stereotypes. While well-intentioned, this decision has been met with skepticism. Fans argue that altering such an integral part of the story without fully addressing the underlying issues feels superficial, diminishing its essence. Casting Rachel Zegler as Snow White has also become a focal point of the controversy. The character's name itself, Snow White, is a defining attribute tied to her story's symbolic themes. Although Disney has successfully diversified casting in other remakes, such as Halle Bailey in The Little Mermaid, this case presents unique challenges. Snow White's physical description is central to the narrative, making the casting decision a particularly contentious issue for some fans. Another source of debate lies in the reported reimagining of the prince's role. Initial statements suggested the film would avoid the trope of a damsel in distress. While such updates may sound progressive, critics argue that they misinterpret the original tale's themes of resilience, kindness, and hope. The prince's involvement wasn't the sole focus, but part of a larger narrative, celebrating good triumphing over evil. Removing or reducing his role risks altering the story's core message. Rachel Zegler's comments labeling the original film as dated have further inflamed tensions. While her perspective may have been well-meaning, it was perceived by many as dismissive of a cherished classic that holds sentimental value across generations. This backlash reflects a larger issue. Audiences increasingly feel that their emotional attachments to these stories are being criticized rather than celebrated. The Snow White remake highlights a growing dissonance between Disney's modernization efforts and audience expectations. The company's reliance on reimagining animated classics has been profitable, but it's clear that audiences are becoming less tolerant of perceived overhauls that prioritize messaging over storytelling. Disney's challenge lies in balancing nostalgia with contemporary relevance. While updating classics is inevitable, success requires a delicate approach that respects the source material's timeless appeal. The overwhelmingly negative reaction to the trailer suggests that Disney may have missed this balance, especially in its handling of key story elements. The decision to replace the dwarves exemplifies the complexity of this balancing act. While intended to address representation concerns, the change has been criticized as a misstep that inadvertently reduces opportunities for little people in Hollywood. It illustrates how even well-meaning changes can inadvertently backfire. On a broader scale, this situation underscores Disney's struggle to manage its legacy content in a rapidly evolving social and cultural landscape. The backlash signals a turning point in how audiences perceive remakes, particularly when iconic stories are altered in ways that feel disconnected from their original magic. For CEO Bob Iger, this controversy couldn't come at a worse time. With Disney already under scrutiny for its creative and business strategies, the Snow White debacle represents more than a single project. It's a litmus test for the company's ability to adapt while retaining audience trust. This dilemma raises important questions. How much can a story be changed before it loses its soul? What makes a classic truly timeless? The answers to these questions will shape not only Snow White's fate, but the future of adaptation in Hollywood. Marketing and communication play a crucial role in navigating these challenges. Zegler's dismissive tone created an unnecessary divide between the remake and fans of the original. A more thoughtful approach, acknowledging the original's significance while explaining the new vision, might have fostered greater understanding. Timing also plays a role. Disney's recent track record with remakes has been met with growing skepticism. Each project carries the weight of heightened expectations and diminishing patience from fans weary of seeing their favorites altered beyond recognition. The financial implications are equally significant. Disney's remake strategy has been lucrative, but the intense backlash against Snow White raises questions about its sustainability. If audiences continue rejecting modernized versions of beloved classics, the company may need to rethink its reliance on this approach. This situation also speaks to broader industry trends surrounding representation and inclusion. While these are worthy goals, the Snow White controversy demonstrates that how changes are implemented matters. Updates need to feel authentic and integral to the story, rather than imposed or superficial. The backlash offers a cautionary tale for studios attempting to modernize classic stories. Audiences aren't inherently opposed to change. They're against changes that feel forced or disrespectful to the original. Striking the right balance between evolution and preservation is essential for success. Actors also have a role to play in promoting these projects. Zegler's comments highlight the importance of navigating the delicate balance between championing new interpretations and respecting the legacy of the original. Future productions might benefit from better preparing cast members for these discussions. As the Snow White saga unfolds, it will likely become a case study in adaptation done right and wrong. Disney's response to this backlash could set the tone for how studios approach remakes of beloved classics moving forward. Ultimately, the challenge isn't just technical or creative, it's deeply emotional. These stories aren't merely films, they're cultural landmarks that evoke nostalgia, wonder, and shared memories. When remaking them, studios must tread carefully, respecting the past while embracing the future. Modernization doesn't always equate to improvement. What makes these tales endure is their ability to connect with universal human experiences. Preserving that essence while addressing contemporary concerns will be the key to creating remakes that honor both the legacy and the audience. The Snow White controversy also highlights the rapid evolution of audience engagement in the digital age. The swift backlash to the trailer exemplifies the power of collective public opinion. Studios must now be prepared to respond dynamically to this feedback. In closing, the Snow White remake has become much more than a film. It's a cultural battleground. Disney's handling of this crisis will set important precedents for how studios approach the delicate task of reimagining classics. Whether this story serves as a cautionary tale or a blueprint for success remains to be seen. For now, it's clear that audiences expect more than just nostalgia. They want respect for the stories they hold dear and thoughtful adaptations that preserve their timeless charm. If you're intrigued by this saga, stay tuned for more insights. This has been Macy, bringing you the deeper story behind today's biggest cultural conversations.